Our next speaker is co-founder and CTO at MagmaLabs from Mexico. Please welcome Edwin Cruz.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Sean. My title for this talk is Marketplace on Solidus, and especially how we try to help local businesses to survive this pandemic worldwide. More than a talk, I would like to share like a journey that all the team behind MagmaLabs took us from frustration to to pride. And before going that, I would like to introduce myself. As Sean said, I'm CTO and co-founder of MagmaLabs. I'm an open source enthusiast. I've been working with Solidus or Spree even before we had the namespace Spree, 0.9 version, I think, 0.7 something. And we at Magma, we help companies to execute their vision. Also, you can find me at S of the tier 8 everywhere. It sounds cooler in Spanish. It's Softrocho. In English, it's a little bit harder to pronounce, but you can find it like that in almost everywhere. So helping local businesses, originally what we wanted to do is to help local businesses to survive, the pandemic, because we were in quarantine. We were not allowed to go outside. It was hard to go and buy groceries. Some businesses, they had just one option to sell, which was face-to-face, and they were not used to do online businesses or anything. And we wanted to help all local community, and that's where we started this project. And especially because we knew that they will need help, they will not be used to sell online. So that's where we started to think about this project. So we tried to bring more businesses to the online world. We had to train them how to sell online, and especially we wanted this marketplace to be free. What we did not want is to compete, with current marketplaces like Facebook, Mercado Libre, Amazon, or even WhatsApp. A lot of sales right now are done via WhatsApp, from one person to another. So we basically trace our plan. So we back then in March, we already had a custom front end on top of Solidus. It was pretty much ready to be rolled out. We were also willing to allocate some resources to the project, and the marketing was ready to work, and design, everything was needed. Also the branding and the design teams, they were ready to to create the image, the color pattern, everything that was needed. So when we started to work, we started to face some first bumps. The Solidus marketplace did not work with Rails 6 or the latest version of Solidus, the master. So we had to work a lot to make it compatible. We have this huge pull request in the original repo that has a lot of changes. Basically, we had to rename some files to use the new decoration pattern and everything. And also our marketing team, they did not know Solidus admin, so we had to train them as well. Why? Because they were the ones that were going to be facing with the suppliers, all the help desk and anything. And also this was the most difficult one, because the Mexican IRS, they charge taxes by income, not by profit. So that means that we will not be able, to concentrate on the money and then spread the money to the suppliers, because that will trigger that we will have to pay a lot of taxes. So that was not an option back then. So we had to deal with that. So when we started to work, we got our first MVP. We work a lot, as I said, to upgrade the Solidus marketplace to work with the latest Solidus and also Rails 6. The branding and design sat together, and then they did a design spring and everything. And they came up with all the branding and color scheme and everything. And also, luckily, we had the front end developed using Bootstrap, so it was kind of easy to adjust the colors and the branding and everything. And we started to launch the first marketing campaign, to try to get attention from the potential sellers that will go in the site. So this was the brand that the marketing team come up with, which is Consume Colimote, like something to buy uh, from the local community. So first thing we did is to customize the front end. As I said, we had this front end almost ready to go, and luckily we had developed a branding manager, which basically we could specify and customize the bootstrap colors. So it was kind of straightforward. Just to go here and choose the colors that the design team come up with. The primary, secondary, and everything. Also the logo, the footer, and even the font we could specify from the front end. So it was kind of easy, and it was cool because some of my team he come up with this solution to render dynamically or compile dynamically the SAS code. It was pretty straightforward once we saw it, but it was kind of tricky to make it work. So it actually render the CSS on the fly and cache it and then make it available to the users. So this was all dynamic. We could change one color and then the CSS will be recompiled and sent back to the browser so everyone can see the new color scheme and everything. So once we had this, the front end was kind of ready, and we had to see the initial catalogs, like all the shipping methods, some taxonomies. We split them into taxonomies, which was categories and brands. And also we brought the Solidus slides extension, to create some heroes and everything. Also some basic product properties. We sent out some surveys to see what kind of products they were planning to sell online. So we had to work a lot with that data and then try to create this product properties catalog. So they can just come in and then fill all the product properties values. Also, we knew that we needed to create some zones, either to offer shipping options or simply to show the catalog. Also, based on this, we had to deal with the shipping categories. And after we set up the initial catalogs, we launched the first registration page. A lot of suppliers started to come in. We had to validate somehow, so we opted to just call them, to see if they were actually a real store or anything. So we opted to call them. And then we started to hit a little bit more bumps. We had a lot of new suppliers, but no products. What we found is that the admin was too techy for suppliers, and we had to work even more than we originally imagined to basically, modernize businesses. We had to train them in e-commerce, especially in Solidus. We had to create some video tutorials, how to go to admin, go to a product, how to create a product, what this title means, well, the name, the description, available on, the tax category, shipping category, and all that. We had to create a lot of video tutorials to send them. So whenever a new suppliers will register and then we approve them, we will send them all these materials so they can start trying to load more products. As I said, we had to explain them a lot of e-commerce terms like pricing, categorizations, how to allocate or how to categorize one product to what specific taxon and why. Also the price by variance, all this different information they needed to have. We had to teach them, and especially even how to take product shots, because it's hard to create good product shots. But some of them they had already the workflow. Some of them they were already selling online, well, online in quotes, because they were via WhatsApp or Facebook Marketplace, or they were basically used to sell or try to sell their products via phone, on their phones. So we had to deal with a little more bumps. So Solidus admin is not that great in mobile. Some suppliers, they were not used to check emails, so they will miss some warnings or even new orders emails. Also, they told us that the new product flow was too complicated for them. It was too. They were scared about how many fields they had to fill in to create a new product. So once we worked with the suppliers and everything, next step was the set up the checkout. Some suppliers, they were offering only store pickup only. Some of them, they have their own delivery guys, so they will just they have some motorcycles and deliver the orders and everything. And some of them, they were ready to receive cash on delivery once the orders were actually delivered. And actually, we got surprised and we felt really good because some of them, they were ready to do full commerce. They will be able to ship basically worldwide some of the products, which was pretty cool. And that led us to start changing all the internals in Solidus. So, for example, we extended, the SAC calculator for the shipping rates, and this is at the suppliers level. They will be allowed to specify the shipping cost at their own level. So if some users, they will go and add to the checkout some of the products, this shipping calculator will be the one handle this. If the supplier did not specify any values here, they will just take the default one that we set up in at the global level. It will be the shipping normal amount, what will be the normal cost, and what will be the minimal amount to be considered as the discounted amount, and then the discounted amount. This was very helpful because some of them, they will say, I'm going to charge 40 pesos to deliver an order if it is less than 200 pesos, for example. Or most of them, they will say, you know what, I don't care if it is 10 pesos, I will deliver for free. Or some of them, if, for example, some restaurants, they will say, if the order is greater than 500 pesos, then it will be the order, the delivery will be free, or otherwise 50 pesos for the delivery. I don't know, something like that. So it was pretty cool, this change, and it helped us a lot. And the price tag was pretty straightforward to do. I was surprised that it was super easy to do. We basically extended from the shipping calculator and compute package method, and then just try to come up with the minimal amount, and try to read it from the supplier for the stock location, and that was it. It was super easy to do it. And once we had this, we realized that some suppliers, they were offering delivery only in specific cities, not at and others, they were offering deliveries at the state level. So we had to modify the Solidus to have, to have zones to behave at the city level. Once we had this, also we were able to make it work with the payment methods. We created an extension to offer payment methods by zone. So that meant that some of the suppliers, they will offer cash on delivery for the cities that they will deliver by themselves, or maybe wire transfer or checks for others, so maybe for the rest of the of the state or even the country. It was super helpful, especially because some of their businesses, suppliers, they were ready to sell online, and they will be able to actually ship things via normal shipping carriers. So that's when we released some of the first extensions we had to create, which is Solidus Zones by City, and another one which is Solidus Payment Methods by Zone. And the payment method by zones basically adds at the bottom of the payment method edit form what zones will be available. This is super helpful, especially if one of the clients requires to offer cash on delivery, but only where they have presence. They will create a zone. For example, if they have branches in 3 different cities, they will create a zone with these 3 cities and offer cash on delivery where they are. So whenever the user tries to check out and they specify the shipping address, Solidus will try to look for the payment methods, the global ones, and the specific ones for the zone. Then for the checkout, we removed the delivery step. the checkout, the Solidus checkout confirm is composed by the address screen, delivery screen, payment screen, confirm screen, and the confirm. So what we had to do is to rework a little bit the checkout to make it simpler and more like a user friendly. And we started to removing the delivery step. We realized that most of the times the Solidus chooses the best shipping option, the cheapest. So it will be like a straightforward just to do that. So we moved that option to the payment screen, and we were able to remove the delivery step. Also, if the user had already an address book associated to it, we will go straight to the payment screen. We will default the shipping address and the billing address and go straight to the payment screen. Why? Because we already had everything. So most of the times they will just have the shipping address by default, and they will use it, that address, and that was it. So it was like a good improvement for the checkout. Also, we had to work a lot to make a more visual all the shipments, because Solidus splits in shipments if the products are being fulfilled from different stock locations. So we had to make it more visual, like they are being fulfilled by different suppliers. And some suppliers, they will offer pick on in a store, so we will show the map where the branch is or the real store was. And of course, the payment methods, they were displayed by sound. So also we realized that some users, they will be typing the wrong addresses, with typos and everything. So we had to add address validations, and we opted to use Google Places, and it's been working just fine. So speaking about the product catalog, we knew that we needed to be scalable. Potentially we will have this huge catalog because maybe a pharmacy will come in and then load all their catalog, and there will be thousands of products. Also, we needed full text search and facets, so the choice was pretty much obvious. We opted to use Elasticsearch. And once we have Elasticsearch, we will be able to filter by price, category, brands, product properties, and create facets from out of them. And here is where it started to be interesting there, because we needed to filter by product properties. So what we did was to create this new relationship between taxons and product properties. So we will be able to specify what product properties will be used to create more filters in the in the category pages. Some properties will be maybe materials, application, power consumption, I don't know. All these different options, they will be just available. And for example, this is one usage. It's two basically for either dog or cat. These these offers, and in the admin it looks like this. We added like a pretty much multi-select, and these product properties, they will be read from the products that they are associated with this taxon. So this was pretty cool because now we can create up to 3 different filters, including the ones that come up with the taxons and brands and the price. So it was very helpful to help users to create even more accurate filters. Also, we needed more attachments for the taxon level. We needed the hero for the desktop, for the mobile. I like the icon, some logo. And also we added, since some of the suppliers did not have the resources to take product shots, we offered a way to default an image for one product that will be associated with this taxon. This is where we did it. And to do this was pretty super easy. We basically changed in the config what the taxon attachment module will be. And since this change in the the paperclip partial in the admin, it iterates over every single paperclip definition. So we didn't have to modify the admin at all. So it will automatically render all the attachment definitions. So it was super cool. And once we had this, we needed to have a way to to offer better content. So we added tricks editor to to product description and taxon description, and it was super easy to set up with active storage. So the marketing team, they will be able to actually drag and drop images or assets, anything to the content, and they will be stored using active storage. And we were using Amazon S3, so it was super easy to do this. All we needed to do is to include in the old.js required active storage and this little snippet of JavaScript, and they will listen out the tricks attachment add, and they will do everything automatically. And of course, we were using T-Face to inject to replace the description field for the tricks editor, and it was super easy. Then we realized that some suppliers, they started to add a lot of taxons to the same products. Like if we had 3 levels of categorization, they will add the 3 categories. So we didn't want to do that, and we had to add validations that only 1 taxon per taxonomy was allowed, and especially it has to be at the lowest level. Why? Because we were setting up the product properties to create filters, so that's where those filters were going to live. And it was, again, kind of easy. We only had to do a little bit this little validation here, and this was interesting. And maybe I think this will have to live in in Solidus core, maybe controlled by a flag or something, because this is a pretty much a common usage. Especially because in e-commerce, one of the best practices is to assign 1 taxon per taxonomy to the product, and it will come off pretty handy. And also, some suppliers, they had their own catalog. Some of them, they will be using already Shopify, well, only for the catalog, some spreadsheets, or some accounting system. So we created this simple Shopify importer. It only needed what taxon brand to associate with and what suppliers it belongs to, properties mapping, shipping category, and also the Shopify collection URL. And we open sourced it, and we were able to import a bunch of products. We had a lot of products, so it was time to sell. So the marketing efforts. So they started to create a lot of visuals, hero images and product shows, and create more taxons to categorize products, and a lot of SEO work. And we implemented a lot of schema properties via LDJSON, and we validate them in the structured data testing tool. And a lot of the data that we were able to inject was pretty much working super surprisingly well. For example, this keyword, Costal de Sal, which is basically a bag of rock salt, if you see, we are even above Amazon. So this was super cool to see. Also, marketing, they needed a little bit more flexibility to do the job. The homepage was composed, like any other homepage, with featured content, with Solidus slider, recommendations. We were using Elasticsearch, some heroes, new arrivals, stripe of brands and everything. And it was kind of dynamic but static, especially because the marketing, they needed us to modify the homepage. So we were using already Solidus static content extension, for the terms and condition page, for the static pages. And we evaluate to train the marketing team to create static pages using this. But then they needed a little bit more flexibility, like a kind of a CMS. It had to be simple to use. It had to especially keep the same look and feel, and live with the current controls, and like add to cart, filters, and everything. So that's where we started to work in a feature. We call them Pages Builder. I need a better name for it. It was just the first thing that came up with my mind. But basically, a Pages Builder is a way to create one page, and each page will have multiple sections. And one section could contain multiple components, and each component looks good and knows how to behave, and especially how to get the required data. For example, we may have a component to show that the new arrivals products, and it will know how to get the latest, the new arrivals products. Also, some requirement from the marketing team. They ask us that they will be able to modify the background color. They were trying to create some pages to improve the conversion. So this is basically how it looks in the admin. We have a page and we have sections, and each section is composed by some components. We have a bunch of components. For the parent of the components, we have right now only two components, which is the hero slider and the columns. And we can fill each component with some subcomponents. But we can also configure how this section will behave. For example, if it's going to be full width, some background color, the title, and how also the height, you can control it. And the inner containers that they will live in this parent component, we have like a bunch of components that knows how to behave. For example, in these screens, I'm just showing the banner, taxon, the hero image, title, and content, and call to action. And for example, the taxon component, it only requires the taxon permalink, and it will know how to fetch the products and render them, and keeping the same look and feel from the site. And this is basically how it looks like. It's a simple form. Some content and title, and how to align the content, color of the content, and everything. So once we did this, the marketing team, they were able to create pages like this one. It's super cool to see how they can create visual that they are super nice. And the look and feel is super cool. This is just a columns component with three subcomponents, and one also a banner controller. This is another example. You see, it's super cool. They are able to control the text alignment, the color, the background. They will load images and everything, and also they will call the products component, and they will either show the recommendations and new arrivals, a lot of different possibilities. That's working now, and we have more plans for the future. For example, we were discussing about having landing pages to be available between 2 days. Imagine just replacing the homepage automatically, I don't know, for New Year, or like a Black Friday or anything, to create a homepage to specifically designed for Black Friday, and it will be triggered automatically when the time comes. Also, landing pages by zones. Now that we have zones set up by city, we can create landing pages, for example, for for one city that will have a beach, for example, or mountains, and they will be able to create home pages targeted to those environments. We need versioning. Right now, if we change something, it will go live straight. Of course, make it compatible with locales. And of course, we will open source it. If you want to see it live, you can go to consumercolima.com/home, and you can see that that's going to be the new home that we're going to replace. And it was developed completely from a designer. And once we had this, traffic and everything, we had some issues with sales. Some suppliers, they were not just to check emails, as I said before. They were just trying to focus on selling offline, and some order they were placed and were not fulfilled, so that was bad. And also some users, they were not comfortable. They didn't feel comfortable giving addresses because they will go and pick things up from the stores. So we had to integrate some notifications. We used originally we started to use Amazon simple notification service to send SMS, but it has super low delivery rate. So we know another coworker. He started to do a side project which is SMS for all, and it basically is an Android app where they uses the normal SMS network to send messages. So we integrate with it, and we are having better delivery rate. And some suppliers, they are still having issues with the admin. So we added Google Analytics to the admin to see what they are actually visiting. We are implementing heat maps in the admin to see where they are having struggles with. We're doing a bunch of user interviews, and we are evaluating either to create a simpler admin interface, via web, or actually create a React Native for the suppliers, because they are used to use their phones. So it will be easier to even send push notification wherever a new order is completed or anything. Also, we have some plans to connect with other marketplaces like Mercado Libre, Amazon, Facebook, etc. Also, we would like to offer product feeds per supplier, because they will be able to create, for example, an account in Google Merchants, and they will import the product feeds and start paying for ads, and they will just land to the page. So just to wrap things up, the current status is that we really feel proud of what we have done so far. More than 100 suppliers are already signed up, and we have a lot of products. We will keep trying to help them to do businesses in the digital world, because e-commerce is hard, and especially because a lot of local businesses, they are like a multi-generation businesses, and they are not used to do online businesses. And that was it.